Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Wanted to jump on here, do a little transfer portal update. First and foremost, we're awaiting the commitment from Emanuel Pregnon, interior offensive lineman from USC. He's going to choose between Tennessee, Oregon, and Texas. Now, you may be watching this after the decision has come out. We're still going to get into an update here in just a little bit because it brings some good talking points, but I also want to get an update from you guys. I want to gauge the room. I want to read the room. How are you guys feeling as we sit here on January the 14th, 1 week away from spring semester starting at Tennessee? How are you feeling about the transfer portal? Now, there's a difference between the roster and the transfer portal, and I talk a lot about roster retention on this channel because it is a huge part of what Josh Heupel has to do, and I get it. It's not fun. It's not sexy to talk about, well, we got Arian Carter to stay home. We got Mike Matthews to stay home. We got Boo Carter to stay home. It's sad that in college football in 2025, you have to recruit your own roster, but that's just the reality of the situation. But I'm asking you how you feel about the transfer portal, because we go back to this article that came out in late November the 26th. This article from On3 comes out and says that Tennessee is expected to be one of the most aggressive spenders in December's college football transfer portal window. Now, we go and get a commitment from Wendell Moy Jr. on December the 18th, and I think that was big. I think that's a nice addition to this roster. I think if you had asked yourself going into this thing, what position group do we need to upgrade in the portal, we would have all agreed that interior offensive lineman was right up there at the top of the list. Wendell Moy Jr., a guy that played a lot of football for Arizona, started 27 games in 3 seasons, has pretty good PFF grades for pass blocking, and I think that's crucial for this football team in 2025. We got to keep Nico clean. We got to give Nico time. I think that's a big part of what we are going to see in 2025 if we're able to upgrade this offensive line. But you add Wendell Moy Jr. on December the 18th. 3 days later, you get throttled, absolutely throttled by Ohio State in the college football playoff, 42-17. And I think that's where some of the negativity sets in, is we're waiting on some movement in the transfer portal. Then you go get embarrassed by Ohio State, so you feel like this team is nowhere near where they need to be. You're basing the entire 2024 season on one college football playoff game against probably the team that's going to be the national champions when it's all said and done. So you add Wendell Moy Jr. 3 days later, you get embarrassed, and then it's radio silence. Tennessee does not add another player in the portal until Amari Jefferson jumps in on January the 7th. So we've added Wendell Moy Jr., and we've added Amari Jefferson. So what are your thoughts on the transfer portal? I want you guys to jump down into the comment section and talk about it, and make sure you stick around until the end of the video, because we're going to come back to that before we wrap this thing up. But I want to give an update on Emanuel Pregnon. Before we do that, as always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, free, easy. It helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. If it's your first time here on the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're exactly what you are. We're fans. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. I'll be live tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're playing EA Sports College Football 25. Everything, all the technical issues are dialed in. We're ready to go. We're going back to the old school. Going to be fun tonight. Come hang out. We'll talk some Tennessee football. Also, breaking, Gabriel Ascenda, Tennessee's newest commitment in the class of 26. He's going to be in the house next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, hanging out with me and Coach Jay. So come check that out as well. But let's get into it. Let's talk about Emanuel Pregnon, because, again, we're talking about interior offensive lineman, and I think he would be a huge upgrade to this offensive line room in 2025. He's the top-ranked interior offensive lineman in the portal. You can see there on the screen, he's going to choose between Tennessee, Texas, and Oregon. USC fans say he was the best offensive lineman on the team this year and was expected to be the best offensive line in the 2025 season. Now, what's interesting is he elected to not enter the NFL draft. That was option. That was on the table. He elects to not enter the NFL draft. He signs an NIL deal with USC in December, but then he still ends up in the portal. Now, I've seen some rumors, allegedly speculation, that Oregon may have been doing some tampering here behind the scenes, that Oregon could be the reason that he entered the portal. You got the USC beat writer from On3 that put out and said that Oregon offered $150,000 more than USC offered. So this is after he signed his NIL deal. So what's going on behind the scenes? Again, Emanuel Pregnon, I think, would be a huge addition to this room. Played 3 seasons at Wyoming. When he entered the portal after he left Wyoming, Tennessee was involved in that recruitment. We tried to get him at that time, but he played 3 seasons out there. 2022, graded out as the 3rd best guard in the Mountain West, earned freshman All-American recognition, started 11 games, only allowed 2 sacks, transfers to USC. starts in 25 games in 2 seasons. This past year, played all 13 games, and he was USC's highest graded player on offense, according to Pro Football Focus. Again, Scott Schrader of We Are SC was the one that said Oregon offered $150,000 more than USC just to get him in the portal. So that makes me think, is this about money? Is this a money deal? Is that what this thing is all about? And if it is Tennessee willing to go toe-to-toe with Oregon? Are they willing to go toe-to-toe with Texas? Now, some people may say, we don't have the money. Is that the truth? We're going to talk about that here in just a second. The first visit he took was to Oregon. Then he came out to Rocky Top for a couple of days, wrapped things up with Texas over the weekend. Now Oregon mods it on 3. Felt like Oregon was the leader after that initial visit. Then again, he comes to Rocky Top, spends a couple of days here. Austin Price, covering this thing, said he's just a very quiet kid, didn't want the media attention, said he was not in this for headlines. It's a business trip for him. He did mention to Austin Price, though, that he was interested in playing in the SEC. So is that enough? Can Tennessee get in this thing? Again, took the visit to Texas as of yesterday in decision-making mode. You can see the article there. Transfer portal update, USC transfer Emanuel Pregnon is nearing a decision. There was a lot of buzz speculation that decision could have come yesterday, but we continue to sit and wait. Now, Justin Hopkins, he's basically the Austin Price for Oregon at On 3 for Scoop Duck. This is what he put out recently. He said, checking with Oregon sources Sunday night, the Ducks still felt like they were well in the mix, but no clear message had been sent. Again, this kid does not talk much. Says it feels like Texas is likely Oregon's biggest threat, but never count out the Vols from making a splash. He says originally when Pregnon picked USC after transferring from Wyoming, Oregon, Tennessee were 2 other contenders in his recruitment. It's been said he regrets not picking Oregon the first time around after talking to some various sources. Now, here comes the negative news. Austin Price, last night, Monday night chat over at VolQuest, says he doesn't know where Emanuel Pregnon ends up, but I would not bet on it being Tennessee. So there's the negative news. If the commitment's already come out, we still have plenty to talk about here, because if it's not Tennessee, why? What happened there? Was it money? That's usually the initial reaction. When I make a video like this, I see all the comments, well, we don't have any money. We're broke. Somebody else dropped the bag. It's always about money. And you go back to Josh Thompson, right? The interior offensive lineman from Northwestern that was trending to Tennessee. The official prediction from Pete Nakos was made to Tennessee. Austin Price predicting to Tennessee, so much so that behind the scenes, I was told he was going to commit at noon. That prediction came out 15 minutes prior to that decision. Josh Thompson's phone blows up. He gets an NIL offer from LSU. Tennessee does not want to match it. So does Tennessee not have the money, or does Tennessee not want to overpay? Because these are 2 different things. And I get it, man. I get it. We don't know. We don't see it. It's not like we got the balance sheet over here. We can see, all right, we got this much money. We want to spend it here. We have no idea what Spire Sports Group, what Josh Heupel, what the funds look like behind the scenes. So we speculate. We're out of money. Last night, Austin Price said Tennessee has money for the right players they want to go after. So do they see that it's worth dropping that money on Josh Thompson? Do they think it's worth dropping that money on Emanuel Pregnon, or is it better to save that money? He went on to say, I firmly believe that they haven't felt like this wave has been that good and feel comfortable with what they have. Coach Jay and I talked about that on the live stream Sunday night after Amari Jefferson left. This transfer portal window, it's not like it's been flooded with a wave of talent. Yes, there were some names out there that were floating around and we got excited about, but overall, there's not been a whole lot of talent in the transfer portal this cycle. He also said he still expects Tennessee to add a couple of players down the stretch to let it play out and to be patient. Again, spring semester starts 1 week from today on the 21st. I'm sure there's a late window there. So I would say within the next week and a half, we're going to kind of know what this football team is going to look like heading into spring practice. So I asked you at the beginning of the video, how do you feel about what Tennessee has done in the transfer portal? You can be mad. You can be angry. You can say failure. Give them an F. Terrible. All you added was Wendell Moore Jr. and Amari Jefferson. Give them an F, Boogie. Terrible. Now I ask you, how do you feel about this football team in 2025? Because I've seen some of the comments. Oh, we're going 6-6. Somebody said we're going to lose the first 4 games, which is interesting. If you think that Tennessee is going to lose to ETSU, I will gladly place a wager with you on that game. But you're talking about a football team that went 10-2 last year, and their offense was not clicking. Their offense was not clicking. So when you look at this team coming back in 2025, a lot of people say 6-6, 9-3, 8-4. Well, Vegas doesn't react emotionally. I love Coach Jay's tweet on this. I saw Coach Jay quote tweeted says, Vegas doesn't get emo about it. 2025 national championship odds, Tennessee 16-1, fourth best odds to win a national championship in 2025. Go ahead and let's talk about this. Vegas believes that Tennessee is going to have a pretty dang good football team in 2025. Maybe, just maybe, they like Nico Iamaleava going into his second full year as a starter. Maybe, just maybe, Vegas likes the young talent at wide receiver. The same people, this is what's comical, the same people that have complained about Mike Matthews not getting on the field, complained about the young wide receivers not getting an opportunity, complained about the young offensive linemen not getting an opportunity, are the same negative energy out there on Twitter that are complaining because we're not adding guys in the portal to put Mike Matthews back on the bench, to put those young offensive linemen back on the bench. So which is it? Do you want the youth movement? Do you want the young talent like Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, Boo Carter coming over and playing some offense, young offensive linemen like William Satterwhite, or do you want to go upgrade in the portal? Two things. You got two options. You can't have both of them. Maybe, just maybe, Vegas likes this defense that I think is a dang good defense, a top 5 defense. People want to talk about my schedule. Tim Banks brought it. They got better year in and year out in this past season. 4th in the country in scoring defense, 4th in the country in total defense. Yes, James Pierce is off to the NFL. Plug and play. We built depth on this defensive line. We've got it across the board. We've added talent on the back end. We've got young, talented linebackers. Maybe, just maybe, Vegas knows what they're talking about. Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. How do you feel about the portal? And how do you feel about this roster in 2025? 2 different questions for you this morning. As always, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Also, if you want to help the channel, you can hit that join button down there. For just $1 a month, you can support what we're doing around here. There's also a thanks button if you just want to make a single donation. We don't exist without your support, so we are grateful for that. The links are in the description for all that. That is going to do it for this one. I hope you guys tune in tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then Sunday night, Gabriel Ascenda is going to be in the house. But this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.